What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and as you all saw in yesterday's video, I got super lucky on pulling for Devil Jin. Pretty much just a little bit over 2 pities, and I was able to get this character to A5, which is spectacular, which means I can actually show you guys gameplay where it's this EX core unlocked with this concentration, and it's OP as hell, just to give you guys a little bit of a spoiler. And just to show you how strong this character is, we're going to take him in some multiple game modes today to show you just how well he can actually do. He is nuts. Oh, and I don't even think he really needs to be A5 in all honesty, guys, to do some of the things that I'm going to show you. I mean, obviously, to do the damage numbers that I'm going to show you, he's really going to be powered up, but he's going to be able to do things like Devil Jin Boss, even at a lower level, because of the way he's designed. And something I want you to keep in mind in everything that you're going to see today is that his third skill is bugged. The skill that has the charge skill on it that does the most damage is bugged. He actually will pass through the opponent sometimes and not do any damage at all. He just completely misses. The hitbox is not enacting, so he's not doing any damage at all during certain periods whenever he's attacking. And that's what's really going to be crazy about today's videos, because you're going to see some insanity, and yet that third skill is missing. The other thing I want you guys to notice is that my fame system is at level 10. This is a free-to-play account. The other thing about this account is the fact that, we want to go in here. The other thing about this account is that the codex, right? My codex is not leveled up, guys. It's not leveled up. There's so many characters that don't have level 30, level 60, or level 90. And if they were leveled up, you would gain HP, you would gain attack, you would gain defense. And the more characters you have leveled up, like this one right here, like mine, the more CP or combat power you would actually have. So you need to keep that in mind, because, like on my main account, guys, my damage numbers would be 10 to 20% better than what you're going to see today, maybe even more on my free-to-play account. I've done this before where I compared my free-to-play account to my main account, and with the same character, same build, same car set, the whole bit. And my main account, there's about a 20% difference in damage on that, at least that one particular character that I tested it on. Maybe on Jin it'd be different, but I mean, I just want to put things in perspective, guys. I just want to emphasize how weak this account actually is, and yet this guy is going to do insanity, and there's a lot of reasons why he does insanity. So one thing about good old Jin is that he has a great leadership for extreme fighters. Now, some of these extreme fighters are like Ryu, Chun-Li, the EX versions of them, a lot of the EX characters. I don't know about all the EX characters, guys, because I only have so many of them available on here, but it's a really good leadership for them because it gives the PG rate by 25% and the 50% increase to attack. That is nice. Buffs up Akuma. Really awesome, right? And, he's got the PG rate. He's got the critical rate increase, which is really great for him. But the increased damage by 24% critical hit, it just means that he hits super, super hard. All the immunities is really great for the PvP. The immune to damage for 1.5 seconds of recovery by 7% HP, if HP is 30% or lower, is godly. It really is. This is actually nutso, because in Jin's kit, he also has a heal on his 3PG. So you literally can get a heal when you do your 3PG, and you can always kind of stay above this 30% HP threshold. And as long as you're off this cooldown, you're going to get this immunity, right? He is a tanky character. He has an insane amount of survivability on top of the damage that he does. It's broken, guys. 20% chance to decrease Hellfire Blast skill cooldown by 100% for 2 seconds upon landing a skill, guard included. This is nutty too, because this is his second skill, and this is the one where he shoots the beam out. This thing resets like Akuma's first skill. It is nuts, guys. I mean, he can just do that second skill. Pow, 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 pow. I mean, the beams are just flying out over and over and over, and he just does insanity for damage. It's actually quite broken, because you can do the first and third skill and do the second skill and just reset it for like 3 seconds straight in a row. It is nuts. Oh man, it is crazy. Well, I'm sorry, for 2 seconds, not 3 seconds. And then enters Fury State for 7 seconds upon using an active skill. Deal physical damage to 80% of attack to the target every time a skill lands. Then, of course, the healing core plus the extra critical damage is insane for this character. And you look at his skills, guys. I mean, his EX skill is actually pretty broken, right? This is what I actually have unlocked. Decrease cooldown back to skill 1 and 3, 2 skills. This is the first character where this has actually happened to, where we have a concentration skill or an EX skill unlocked that actually resets 2 skills at once instead of just 1 skill. All the other characters that have concentration, like EX Kyo, just resets the first skill. Akuma just resets the third skill. But this guy actually has 2 skills that get reset and reset. So whenever you use this thing, you literally can go between your first and third skill over and over and over. And then sometimes the second skill actually will reset it on its own from the core, and you can just beam the living hell out of your opponents. I'm seriously, guys, it's just crazy, right? Just nuts. Oh. And then his first skill, the 20% chance to reset cooldown when using a skill, of course, is awesome, right? For extra damage. The critical rate by 30% is insane, especially if you have a lot of critical damage on this character. Because remember, when he does critical hits, he gets extra damage by 24%, right? I mean, it's pretty nutty, guys. And then increases Demon Spear skill damage by 30% for 3 seconds upon use, right? And Demon Spear is the third skill, the charge skill. It's just crazy. So when you're spamming these and you're doing your concentration, right, if you have them at A5, and even if you don't, when you hit that skill and then you do the third skill afterwards, you're going to have that critical rate buff up for this third skill. Just nutty. The second skill increased attack by 19% for 5 seconds. Doesn't seem like much, but when you play with the character and you see how much damage he does, you think, well, maybe he doesn't need any more. And the second skill also increased Hellfire Blast skill damage by 30%. And this is something else that's pretty cool about this character, is that he has all these built-in buffs to his actual blast skill damage or the damage of the skill itself, right? It's really wild. And then the PvP exclusive remove buff from the target active skills upon landing a skill, right? Really OP for PvP. And then he has the charge skill that gives him hyper armor for 4 seconds, which is awesome, guys. It also increases skill damage by 30% on the skill. Actually, on Wind God Fist skill, right? So it actually increases the damage of the first skill, which is pretty awesome, right? And again, you're going back and forth between doing the concentration, or if you don't have the concentration and you're just spamming your skills using your awakened skill, like say if you have them at A4, A3, A2, A1, whatever, it's still very, very helpful. And then the third skill, once you have hit it the first time, you get a critical damage bump by 20% and increase target damage received by 22%, right? And then when you hold the skill down, charge it fully, completely, or use your awakened skill or use your concentration, then it's going to be maxed out. And you're going to have this critical damage by 30% and increase target damage received by 32%. And yeah, guys, his third skill resets it, 70% chance to reset his skills, which is great because you can go into your skills immediately afterwards, which is awesome. For a character like this, his striker bonus, the immunity to damage is nice. And I got a max build on him, guys. You can look at my CP. I got 260,000 CP on my free-to-play account. Now, I know this is a lot, right? It's an insane amount of CP. Like in Chapter Fight, you only need 201,000 CP to reach the top of Chapter Fight to get the maximum rubies out of that game mode. Well, again, if my codex was leveled up, this would be way more. On my main account, this would be over 300,000. With the build that I have on this character, it would be over 300,000. That's a lot, guys. That's just nutty, right? We're going to be working on getting these babies right here. And then it's stones. So, guys, I got all the Tekken stones, every single one of them, and I did it free to play. You can actually get the shards from the Devil Gem Boss, which I actually did at level 30. Got all the shards from there. Got the 120 shards from A5ing this character, and I was able to get both of these Tekken stones free to play, right? Obviously, you're going to have to A5 the character in order to do that, but still, that is insane, guys. And these stones are just crazy, right? I mean, the double attack, the increased attack to Tekken fires by 17% on a critical hit is nice. The next one here gives the increased target damage received. The third one here gives the increased critical damage to Tekken fire by 30%, which is insane for CP and damage, of course. The Star Stone gives the critical rate by 10%. Again, great for CP, the double attack. And then the Moonstone gives increased active skill damage by 15%, and then, of course, the 20% extra attack. This is the optimal stones for him. Obviously, if you're free to play and you aren't going to A5 the character, or you can't A5 them, then you're not going to get all these stones. But, man, if you can get him and you can get through that Devil Gem boss and get the shards at least from there, then you're going to be pretty happy, guys. Really having the CP is really helpful, especially in Chapter of Fight. And then we get into the set. I am running the Tekken set. Free-to-play account. I got this free-to-play. I got all this, all of the option cards, everything. This is pretty much the best setup for this character, at least for the most part. Well, maybe I would change this card, maybe do a different card that actually increases attack, that you actually get from the Devil Jin boss. But we're going to run with this. We get the extra critical rate here by 2%, which is great, guys, for CP. We got this card here that gives a increased critical damage to Tekken fighters by 20%, increased critical rate by 8%. It's just a jacked up build. And these aren't even transcended cards. If these cards were transcended, and I had the actual extra critical damage and critical rate stats for a purple balanced character or for a balanced character, my CP would skyrocket even more, which is insane, guys. I mean, just nuts. We've talked about this Tekken set. I'm not going to get into it. We don't really need to. And this 3PG, of course, gives him this heal. Just insanity, guys. I mean, the guy's a god, and then the Infinity is at level 10, right? So I'm going to pull up some gameplay for you guys. Oh, we got a little reset there. Not bad. Not bad. Let's get off that reset. So I'm going to pull up a little gameplay for you guys. And the first one we're going to start with is Guild Raid. Now, I'm using his leadership for Guild Raid, okay? Let's go. Now I just start with the first and second skill, or the third and first skill, and then we just go straight into our 3PG. The reason we're doing that is because we want to have our concentration skill ready to go whenever we switch them back around. And then I'm going to switch to Chun-Li, and Chun-Li is going to be my breaker. Now, something I want you guys to keep in mind for the run that you're watching is that if I was using Alyssa, we would actually be getting buffs from Alyssa that would actually buff up Jin's damage. And the same thing with Hwoarang, who I can actually do on my free-to-play account because I do have the character. But I'm using Leona for the increased target damage received that she's actually getting from her core and from her second skill to add a little extra damage, and then we're just using the concentration. And I'm just going to let Rugal blow up on us over and over because, one, we got the heal from the core for the Tekken fighters. We have the heal from doing the 3PG. We also have the heal when we get down to an HP threshold on Jin, so we don't have to worry about him dying at all. Against Guild Raid Rugal, we don't have to worry about this at all. And look at the damage he's already put up, guys. Look at the damage he's already done. And he's got a ways to go. When he goes to A7, this numbers are going to go up even more. Now, why would you need to do these kind of numbers? I don't know. I mean, I really don't know why you would need to do these kinds of numbers. Is it awesome? Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I got to say, man, being on my free-to-play account, it's pretty wild seeing him do these kinds of numbers. I mean, guys, we're going to hit 5 billion, and we're not even 40 seconds into the fight. I mean, this is just... Like, to put things in perspective, guys, my A7 Ryu, same fame system for yellow character and purple characters, gets 4 to 5 billion in this, right? He can get about 5 billion, maybe a little bit more. And I've already went way over that, and I'm only 50 seconds into this fight. I'm way over that cap that I can do with Ryu. I mean, and we're using a little bit less of an attack leadership with Jin compared to Ryu for the Street Fighter characters. I mean, it's just absolutely insane how much damage this character does. And the crazy thing is, again, I want to reiterate this, is the fact that his third skill is bugged. He actually is passing through Rugal at times and missing damage, guys. He actually isn't doing the optimal damage right now, which is just nutty. And you can see what I do is because the default can actually reset skill, I mean, 70% chance of resetting your active skills is very, very high. So 9 times out of 10, or 7 times out of 10, I guess, actually, he's actually going to reset his skills. Actually, it seems more like 9 out of 10. Actually, it seems more like 10 out of 10, to be honest. Anyways, I do that all the time to get more damage, guys. Just get more and more damage, solve those timers. His default does insanity as far as damage as well. Really, he just does, period. And this is, I mean, guys, the Tekken characters have really brought in this new era of not having dot explosion, but having insanity as far as damage. Like, all this increase of physical damage that they have, and the way their effects are set up by increasing the damage on their skills, increasing blast skills or strike skills within their skills, is making them OP as hell. I mean, look, guys, I mean, it's about 12 billion. We're almost at 12 billion right now with this character. right? I'm not even talking about how awesome he is and how cool his skills are and how like beautiful his 3PG is. His theme music is awesome. He looks insane aesthetically. Like, he's just an awesome character. And this run, guys, I haven't even had that much practice because after I did those pulls in yesterday's video, my controller actually started failing on me. It wouldn't work with my PC client for some goofy reason. I mean, literally, I couldn't use any skills. I could sit there and tap my button and it wouldn't even use my skills. So I really didn't have any time to really practice with Jin. And I got up this morning, I bought me a new controller, and now it seems to be working just fine. And I played him maybe 3 or 4 times, and this is the outcome that you're seeing right now. That's all I played him. I haven't really practiced with him all that much, so I'm not really 100% sure about what I'm doing, but obviously it seems to be working pretty good because he's doing insanity as far as damage. I mean, guys, like, you can just literally, and plus his attack speed from his core is just helping out so much. You saw how fast we were doing that third skill, but again, that skill is bugged. It is bugged. We are not getting the optimal damage out of this character. Right, we're not, but look at this damage. Look at this insanity on my free-to-play account. If this was my main account, this character would have already done over 20 billion. He would have been over, like, quite a bit over 20 billion. We'd probably be around 22, 23 billion on my main account with the same build. Guys, that is crazy. Look, I mean, what? I mean, look at that, guys. Almost 19 billion. Almost 19 billion on my free-to-play account. And his third skill is bugged. It is bugged. We are losing damage. It is insane, man. Like, I mean, I've talked about how power creep is just insane in this game. But I mean, you might as well say 19 billion. You might as well say 19 billion. And I'm going to show you a little thing in Dungeon of Trials after this, right? We're going to go up to Dungeon of Trials, and I'm going to show you how much damage he does in one rotation that I actually kind of messed up on. In one rotation in Dungeon of Trials, right? And we're going to use a Chill Striker and Kula so we can do a little bit more damage. Now watch this, guys. This is one rotation, same build. We use Kula to use a little chill here. Watch this. This is one rotation on my free-to-play account. What is this madness? What am I seeing? What? Now, I did a couple basic attacks, so we didn't quite hit 1 billion, right? We didn't quite hit 1 billion, but, I mean, obviously with the variables, with your critical rates, we could have. Pretty much could say 1 billion and 1 awaken rotation. I actually missed my first skill once, I believe, in that run you just saw. 1 billion and 1 rotation. 1 billion and 1 rotation. What? Guys, that is ridiculous. That is just so broken that it's not even funny. But we're not done yet, guys. I'm going to show you a run against Devil Jin level 30. Watch this. So one big reason that Jin does so good is, one, because of his heals, right, from his 3PG and from his core, also because of his damage, but he teleports, his third skill actually goes side to side whenever you're going against Devil Jin boss. And because of that, just like Bison, he actually avoids getting stunned over and over and over, and just Jin, the boss Jin, doesn't really know what to do. And you guys can look at this damage that we are doing. It is broken, my friends. Look at that. He pretty much plowed through this and destroyed it. He destroyed it like it was absolutely nothing, right? That is crazy. And when I show you guys, like, the restrictions I had, this is what I did. On my free-to-play account, I was able to acquire all these rubies. I was able to acquire all, well, let me back up here, all these coins to get Nina, get all these nice little wonderful card sets, get these shards here so I could get that Tekken Stone. Like, it is just insanity, guys. Just awesome. And I really feel very confident that in the future, this character is going to pay off for me and for everybody else that does have them. But you guys can see the restrictions that I do have here. I don't have the stun, or the groggy here, the stun. I don't have that enacted at all. Everything else is maxed out except for the decreased fire PG rate, right? We just have that on 1, but everything else is maxed out. And he could easily fly through that. A3 Gen, guys. I've seen A3 Gen tear this up, do complete solos by himself. The guy is just godly. I mean, he really is just. I mean, godly isn't even the right word for this powerhouse. That's not even the right word. It's not even. He is so broken that it's not even funny. I mean, so for me on my free to play account, and I mean for everybody that has this character, he's nuts. Now, I've been getting some feedback that Walrein is actually still a little bit stronger, but Jin, obviously is going to have better survivability than him. But still, when you see this kind of damage that he's doing, whether he's number one or not, I mean, look who he's being compared to, a character that was able to hit 70 billion in guild raid. This is absolutely insane. Like, this character is godly, and maybe I don't know what he can do honestly when he's maxed out on an account with max out fame, max out codex. I mean, all these things make a huge difference. But for my free to play account, this is just the most broken character I've ever seen in the game so far. So guys, let me know what you think about Devil Jin. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. TJ+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See everybody.